Hi, and welcome back to That's So Nova. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Today we're going to be doing a free pattern, and it's from Jax Lo. It's called the Araki Box Bag set. This is a really cute set, and I cannot wait to make this with you. I'm going to be making a size small, and I will be showing you the large when I am finished with the small. They're a really cute set. This is for beginners and for the people that are out in the back that's like, Nova, I hate binding. This is for you. This bag uses a garment tool that we use in garment making a lot called French seams, and it comes out beautifully and they collapse gorgeously. I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks along the line that can help you make this bag even more easier for you. It can help you if you decide to do a couple productions, so that way if you want to sell them at craft fairs or whatever, it can help you out a little bit more. So I'm going to be needing a couple of clips. I so happily have the Jax Lo. I bought these gunmetal ones and I'm kind of in love with them. You're going to need 2 pieces of webbing, some snippers to snip the thread. I'm going to explain this later and you'll see why. Something to mark with. As you can tell from many videos, I like to use a number 2 pencil. This one's well loved. A zipper pull, a zipper, 2 pieces of material. I'm using waterproof canvas. It's more like PVC, and a water resistant cotton. So let's get started. As you can see, there's no interfacing. All right, so she definitely recommends to use waterproof canvas. The seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch. There will be other seam allowances in there, so just highlight them. And double-sided tape is, fine. All right, so on page 2 is the cutting chart, and then on page 3 we have where she said, she makes a suggestion to mark 3/4 of an inch at each end of the zipper tape. Then we're going to mark our centers. We're going to separate, I know, and we're going to place, I'm going to remove my double-sided tape on each side. We're going to find our centers and we're going to match them. And we're going to just pretend this is the tacking down at 1/8 of an inch. If you don't want to use double-sided tape because you're like, dude, my machine hates it, or you're just like, I prefer, basting 1/8 of an inch, pretend that I did that. Then you would go onto the other side and you would baste your other zipper tape after you match the center seams, the center marks, I'm sorry, not the center seams, at 1/8 of an inch. I'm sorry, and make sure it's lined up nice, not do as I say, not as I do scenario. I'm just really excited to show you how fast this bag comes together. I think this might be your most favorite bag pouch you'll have in your collection. You're going to place the lining right sides down on top, and we're going to sew this up using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You can use clips to hold in place, back stitch really well. I'm just going to move all these extra bits out of the way. Okay, and we're going to do the same on this side. Three-eighths of an inch. say I'm going to use my snips and I reach for my scissors. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else does that. Like you have the second pair of snips there for something, for like doing this part, and you're like, no, I'm good. I'm going to reach for my scissors. We're going to turn this right sides out. And we're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. And there's tips for directional fabrics right on page 3 at the very last portion. I think you should just have fun with it, because no matter if you have a directional print, no matter if it's tossed or not, that it's going to be misdirection somewhere on it. So for me, I thought it'll be fun to have it like the same direction when the zipper closes together, and it could be misdirection everywhere else. But at the same time, this is octopus, it's underneath the sea. Everything's going to be a wibbly wobbly. Top stitching this, and I'm just gently tugging this, and when I hit this 1/8 of the inch seam allowance, if you're new to top stitching 1/8 of an inch, when I put this underneath my presser foot, my zipper teeth will hit the 3/8 of the inch mark. So that's how I know I'm getting the perfect straight top stitch. I get asked a lot, like, your top stitching is really straight, and I think it's because that I follow guides. I don't look at my zipper foot or my foot or the needle when I'm top stitching, but I do look at guides. So whenever I'm top stitching on it for a zipper, I know that when I'm top stitching 1/8 of an inch below where the this fold is, if my zipper teeth are there, it's going to hit exactly 3/8 of an inch. All right, so we've got that. So we're going to head over to page 4. We're already on page 4. Look at us. We're going to zip this close. All right, so we're going to do a step here that we're going before we hit page the next step 7. First, we're going to, oops, I did not get that thread. You're going to have to put this on twice. If you don't want to put it on twice, you can have one zipper follow the other. And this doesn't match, sorry. If it doesn't match, it'll just, that's why you have the marks, the 3/4 of an inch marks. I also like to look inside, and there's like a little center bar, and I like to see if the zipper teeth match. Sometimes when you have a bigger or larger zipper pull, it's a little bit harder to get everything to match, but you got this. And every now and again, if I have a zipper that is like a little wonky and wants to act a little naughty, I'll just put on the same zipper like color like the antique, but just do a donut pull or another pull that's like a classic shape, because it might just be that particular zipper. All right, so I'm going to do it in the middle. So hear me out. This is what I do. I'm going to create zipper stops. I'm going to go back and forth on here, like, so that way if this zipper moves when I'm turning it and moving it, it's not going to come off. So I'm going to move all this out of the way. I'm going to bring this over to my zipper foot. I'm going to bring this over to my machine, and I'm going to go back and forth. And you can reduce the stitch length if you wish. I'm just doing this so that way if by any chance my zipper does move, it's not going to fall off. See, nice and flush, it goes with that. And I'm going to do this on the other side too. I know it's an extra step, but sometimes those little extra steps can help you out with frustrations later on in a project. And also, I just like to do this for good measure. Also, when I'm doing pouches, because sometimes something can happen and you just know that you have the extra security that zipper is not going to come off. All right, so now we're going to find our centers. How we're going to find our centers is we're going to get some clips. We're going to fold this where our zipper tape parts are going to be touching each other, and I'm just going to put a clip there. And I'm going to find my center and just do a small little snip. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold over my zipper tape so that the wrong sides are touching itself. And then I'm going to make a little clip. All right. So we're going to take this V that we snipped and we're going to put it on the zipper teeth, back of the zipper tape where the white stitches are. And we're just going to clip. We're going to make sure that that doesn't move right there. We're going to do the same thing here while we're here. We're doing this so when we can cut out our boxes, so that way it can be even. And making sure it's even is very crucial. All right, so as you see on page 4, there's very specific measurements for the large and the small. And again, if you're following along with me, you're doing the small, then there are very specific measurements. Now, I have people that are like, Shanova, I cannot not get measurements right. So what I like to do is I like to create paper templates. So I did the templates where it shows you what measurements you have to go in, and what measurements have how tall. So how wide and how tall it has to be. So I just make a template and I place it on here. And then I cut. No drawing. You can draw it if you want, but remember, pencils and pens, and especially markers, they create a 1/8 of an inch mark. This way you can make sure that you don't get confused. I have dyslexia, so sometimes I will see a number, and if I'm going to the left or the right of something, for whatever the reason may be, my brain makes the numbers go opposite, and I'll be like, son of a biscuit eater, and it'll be the wrong way. So I just make a paper template. I hope this helps somebody if your brain gets all jumbled too, or just to make it easier for you, even if there's not something wrong with your brain like mine. Just, it makes life easier. You can make sure everything's even and consistent. So notice I'm putting one clip on the bottom and then making sure it all lines up against the wall. And this can help with people with dexterity issues. Not all of us are wonder rotary cutters, because honestly, when I go with a rotary cutter, I will nick it in further about 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, and it'll drive me batty because I'll be like, it's ruined, it's ruined. So this makes it where I can have better control over scissors than I do with a rotary blade or a box cutter. So it makes my life a whole lot easier. And if you want these for a scrap buster, this will be really good zipper ends, or for like tabs, or like the ends of the zipper where you like are making a bag. So, or testing out your fabrics. So I'm going to put these to the side, and there we are. Now we're on page 5. All right, so we cut those out, and now we are going to baste the webbing. So we're going to turn the bag wrong side out. And again, see the zipper tabs help tremendously here. And we are going to take our zipper tabs, and there is some fraying. So I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of fire, singe these ends. I always try to put my finger on it. It's not that hot. It's quite cool by the time the flame's off of it. But just to make sure that they're not continuously burning. So I've had that happen. We're going to fold them onto yourself, and we're going to kind of baste it onto the first area that we marked for the center. That's so we have that double marking, not only to find our centers, but to where we put the tabs. We're going to baste that on. Okay. Oh, sorry. You know what? We're going to remove that. I apologize. Be right back. Sorry about that. I forgot when we turn the wrong sides out, we need to separate. So you're going to have your exterior on one side and your lining. So when you unbirth it, remember I had it, I'll just do it again so you guys can see. We had it like this. This is the reason why I also zipper stops, right? So remember, we just had it like this, and we had it all cutting out the rectangles. And then the instructions tells us to turn it right sides out, but then wrong sides out, and then we need to take this lining and make sure it's wrong sides out. So we need to separate it from the exterior, and you see the wrong sides from both. All right. So we are going to line everything up. And we are going to put our tabs, which you need to base like on step 11. And we're going to base this on first. You base it on with like a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we're going to cut everything flush soon. And do the same on this side. Okay. Now we're going to sew it at 3/8 of an inch, back stitch well at the beginning and the end. And it can get a little bit bulky over there where this webbing is. It's okay. Just use a hump jumper if you need to. And I'm just going to cut the excess zipper tape off. All right, and then we're going to do this on the other side too. All right. All right. So you're like, Nova, how do we get it? We're going to have to, this is why it's like a kind of like a mini birth. We're going to have to go through and one of these sides and kind of birth it. Yeah, it's going to be, the thicker your material is, it's going to be uncomfortable. But here's the thing. if you're a beginner, if you have a heating press or an iron, you can go on the soft, like the cotton side, and just kind of warm it up. And when you warm it up, it will warm up all the other materials and it'll make it more soft and pliable. And it'll be easier to birth. The looser the material you have, the easier it'll be. This PVC has a real thick plasticky back, so I'm expecting this to be fun. And hopefully I can ask my daughter to do this like speed up thing where I'm like, you know, like the mouse thing. But yeah. I've never actually speed up any of my birthing things because I want you to see the struggle. The struggle's real. Just like, and sometimes it also depends on your zipper pull. Like if your zipper pull is bigger than the opening, that has happened to me too. Like my zipper pull is like, yeah, not today, Shinova, not today. And take your time. You don't want to like accidentally make your zipper, not your side, seem too big. So we're almost there. And I do have a dolphin tail, I mean a mermaid tail as my zipper. And just take your time. And let's see, I'll be right back. Okay, team, we're almost to the end. We just turned our bag out and that was fun. Okay, so now we're going to start doing our French seams. So we're going to make sure that our lining is flush with our exterior, and then we're going to pop some clips. And just, you know, double check, make sure it's all flush and you don't see any holes. And if you have fraying fabric like me, this is going to be fine, don't worry. Just make sure all of it is nice and flush. Do the same thing on all four sides. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to sew each one of these sides down at 1/4 of an inch. Back stitch at the beginning and the end. I'm going to trim, and then I'm going to trim the corners to about 1/8, corner to corner to about 1/8 of an inch. All right. And that helps with some of the little burrs. Sometimes when you're birthing and you have like a cotton or a woven base, you're going to get a lot of like little stragglers, and it's okay. We're doing good. See how there's no holes in the inside, and that's what you want. You're like, Shinova, this is looking suspicious. It's gonna be okay, I promise you. I got you. So we're gonna remove some of these clips, and we're gonna, again, 1/4 of an inch. So by like trimming, you're also, like I said, you're removing some of this, the thread, like the shredding. It's gonna be nice and clean. We have this one last side. Sorry if you hear shaking. I didn't realize my light. I put my light right next by my thread spool. So if you hear like what is shaking, that is my thread spool hitting my light. All right, so let me get all this. So as you can see, this is what it's looking like. Okay, and I'm trying to make sure that I have no extra threads poking out, because with French seams, the slightest thread could poke out, and you just want to make sure you can eliminate that as much as you possibly can. And you could just gently if you have polyester thread, you can gently shrink your threads by singeing it very carefully. Don't set your house on fire, please. Proceed with caution. It's like viewers' discretion is advised. And the reason why I'm saying that is like something like that, this thread can, when you do a French seam, could poke out. All right. So it looks cute, but you're like, the raw edges. We're going to turn it right side out again. You're like, Shinova, we're doing a lot of this, but you're going to see, you don't want binding. You want something that's original, that you're creating your own structure in. So we're going to poke out these corners really well. It's very important to do that. And we're going to clip and clip. Going to trim those threads. I have a lot of loose stragglers, but it's okay. I'm just filling the seam. And I'm going to just poke out this one even more. Don't allow it to sink in. Just poke out those corners with your index or some kind of pointing tool. Something that's not sharp. That's the key though. Like if you're doing it with a sewing awl or a stiletto, you can poke right through your fabric. All right. So when this is my best suggestion for getting all 4 corner box parts exactly the same height, and they're not like 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch off, is when I'm going to put this underneath the machine, I'm going to feed it in. I'm going to bring this straight to the 3/8 of the inch mark line. And if it's wherever the material starts, like if this is the needle, if it starts right there, that's where I'm going to start. I'm not trying to like move my material there. I'm naturally putting it where the line is. So if this is the 3, because you can't really see, if this is the 3/8 of the inch line and this is my needle, I'm not trying to move my material to fit the line. I'm trying to have it go in organically so all 4 areas can fit there. So here we go. The first one, we're going to back stitch. I'm back stitching about 2 stitches, and we're going to go do that all the way down. By encasing the 1/4 of an inch, we're creating such structure and such bones in the bag that it's going to be able to stand up on its own with just having waterproof canvas and water-resistant cotton. Okay. Back stitch. All right, and last but definitely not least, So we're going to turn this right sides out. And you're just going to use your finger or, like I said, a turning tool and just press out each area. Really finger pressing this. You can use a seam roller too once you get it all pressed out, all the corners pressed out. It's going to make it look really great. And you're going to have this adorable, this is super cute. You're going to have this really adorable pouch, and it's going to be really cute. And I think this is by far one of my funnest pouches that I've made to date. And I like the fact that, again, you're not binding, which I get a lot. People asking me, not binding, you're not really birthing. Okay, you're kind of birthing, but you're not birthing. And you are utilizing a skill. If you ever made a dress before, you're utilizing a really fun skill set. And this is a great scrap buster. So this is the small and this is the large. And like I said, I think they're just adorable. They're very cute. They come together, like you see, fairly easy. Once you get the hang of them, you're going to be a pro. And like, I like the fact that they're both collapsible. So like maybe when you're not in travel, you can like, you know, have these folded onto themselves and like out of the way so that they're easy to store. I love that. Because, you know, with traveling, it's all about what you can do to get the most out of your space. And as much as I love structure, it's easier to have a bag like this to stuff more things in because there's more room, because there's not stabilization to, you know, you can get the maximization of your space. And same with this, you can have it and then put it away. I think this is like absolutely darling. So if you have any instructions on this, if you have any questions on this pattern, please leave comments down below. I like to know, what is your favorite size that you like? Now seeing both of these side by side, what size do you think you're going to make? If you're going to download the pattern, please click let's put a heart down below. Click a purple heart. And I hope you enjoyed this interesting Shinova can't find her words tutorial, and I'll appreciate it. The link to just where you could purchase the pattern, it's a free pattern, is from Jax Lo. The information will be down in the subscription box, and I'll have it underneath the pin area in the comment section. And all information in regards to my fabric choices. This fabric comes from Alchemats. This comes from Fireweed Stitch. I think this is also a cool webbing scrap buster because I have a hard time letting go. So definitely give it a go. And if you want to show me your finished projects, please join my Facebook group and tag me in the photo. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you very soon. Bye.